Hello, Crystal. Good morning.
Hi,
Hi,
I'm in my car.
wherever that totally works. Happy New Year,
Yes,
by the way, New Year's Eve and all.
yes, thank you.
My pleasure. So, I guess before we begin, do you have your curling headband with you?
No, I don't. I
Oh,
forgot to bring it.
that's okay. We could still do it, or if you want, we can reschedule for when you do have it because it's helpful for me to do it with you. I can run you through how to use it, but it's a little bit more
Um,
effective if you got it.
I just really have two questions. So I've used
Yeah.
it twice now. And so this is like ideal. Like that's kind of how I want it. But this is how it's been turning out. Like it's just a little tighter. And then
Okay.
also with the like where it starts, like this side kind of it like pops out here, but that I'm like, I think I did them the same both sides, but
Huh.
I'm just trying to figure out like how to get.
Them to be more like the one that's looser, beachier waves. Okay, got it. I can walk you through a couple tips quickly that'll help with that side of things. I guess one thing to ask is, how did you prep your hair before you started using it? Was it dry? Was it lightly damp?
It was fairly damp in the back. So basically, like I was before I got this product, I was using foam rollers, and they were fine, but they kind of hurt, and like I definitely could not sleep in them.
Yeah,
Um, Super painful. You know, like the ones that are like different colors and they're like different widths, and then you twist them. Yeah.
absolutely.
Um,
Yeah.
So this I already slept in it once and that was great. So basically what I do is I wash my hair and my hair is pretty long.
Yeah.
It's fine, but I have a lot of it. And like with the foam rollers, if I was able, because it was like smaller pieces of hair, like if I was able to like get it to be dry before I took them out, I'd have to deal with one day of like kind of wild ringlets.
Yeah.
And then it would tame down and then they would last for like 3 days, which was nice. But it was still like a pain to go through that first process. So it was pretty damp, I would say. Like this part was starting to dry and up here was starting to dry, but all of that was pretty wet. And so I left it in for like 12 to 15 hours.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I normally recommend starting with dry hair and then lightly dampening
Okay.
it ear level down, super lightly dampening. We have like a spray bottle, like just to put water in a spray bottle and like misting it for your ear level down. And so it's only cool to the touch. You don't want to start with like super wet hair or hair that just came out of the
Okay.
shower. That's a huge help. It'll help the hair dry sooner. And for some reason, the curls last longer because your hair's not like overly wet trying to dry out. It just like keeps your hair from getting like kind of bloated. It helps the curls last longer. So dry
Okay.
hair that's lightly dampened ear level down afterwards. So that's the first tip on that front. That'll help a lot. And then also when you're doing it, just make sure you get like the insides, everything kind of evenly coated with water. Now, if you don't have a spray bottle, what I recommend is to get a washcloth, soak it under the faucet, wring it out, super wring it out, and then just like wipe your hair.
Okay.
That's going
Great.
to get it like the right amount of damp. You really don't want it to just be like cool to the touch. All right, cool. Now I'll walk you through a couple tips to try to get that more like soft and evened beachy wave look. So this is the first step, by the way, which is creating like a pigtail on one side. I'll kind of just like
Yep.
mention some things. All right, cool. If you got that down, great. You always want the wire in front.
Yep.
When you start, so you're mentioning you want it to be like a looser curl over here. So I would say looking at that wave, you're going to want to go kind of like temple level, like where your temple is, where your cheekbones are, kind of going out from there to grab your first section. And your first section should only be about 1 inch deep. So
I
not,
think I was starting like way up here. I think that
yeah,
was the problem. I was like taking that much hair and then wrapping it. And so then you can see it's like really
it's
tight.
really tight and curly, and your curls are going to start spiraling down here. So if you want
Yep.
that like
Yep.
looser, beachier, and like for it to just like kind of hit at your cheekbone, just go out your cheekbone. It's usually by your temple, about 1 inch
Got
deep.
it.
and then section that off and pull that over, and don't pull it up here, just kind of go same in line with your cheekbone. So just like straight
That
across,
was, yep, yep.
and that'll
That was
help.
the other thing I did. Yeah, and I think because I was gonna wear it out, like it actually looks kind of cute out,
Yes,
you know,
yeah.
like the wrap. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna try to cover more of it. So I like pulled it up like that. That was just the second time. So that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, it's okay if it's like, this is just like headbandy look, so it's still gonna be good. And then what you're gonna do after that, just grab another section right underneath the first. And again, it's only about 1 inch deep, combine, wrap it over,
Yep.
under. Since we're starting so low, you'll probably have to do like 1, 2 wraps and then grab all the hair that's left.
Okay.
And that'll
Yep.
all.
I think I was trying to make the French braid like thing last longer. Like I was pulling in more hair and then the end of it was not like the back of it was not as
As curl.
wavy because of that.
And yeah,
Yep.
if you yeah, if you start like, if you just grab all the hair at the ear, you're gonna get those curls in the back started sooner. And then it'll also
Okay.
avoid a poof over here, because you'll get like a weird, I can kind of demo it here, but you end up with like this. So to avoid that as well, that's why another reason why you can grab all the hair once you get to the ear. Kind of want to pull the headband a little close to your jawline. It'll just like help
Okay.
seamless, no poof here. And then yeah, you're done on that front. And you repeat on the other side. You add your scrunchie. You don't want the scrunchie to clamp down too tight. So I usually say like 3 wraps. So they have like 3 loops showing.
Yep, that's what I did.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Cool. And now you can always twist to tighten, and that'll set tighter curls. Since we're doing it, like we're adding all the hair very early on, you can twist it a little bit and it'll help to just like secure
Okay.
your head. You can always, if you're like, oh no, these curls are turning out way too curly, just twist the other way. It'll help set looser curls. But I think a little
Okay.
is still good since we're doing it like just 2 wraps at the front.
Okay.
Trying to think if there's anything else here to kind of add. But yeah, it should be
Well,
pretty,
yeah.
yeah. And then you just do the headband look, you cross it in the back, and it sounds like you got that part down. Your hair is awesome, by the way. It's so freaking
Thanks.
cool. I love it. I love it. It reminds me of Christina Aguilera, who I don't know if that's like an insult to you. To me, she's like my inspiration. I love her. And I'm like, oh, she
Yes.
had that hairstyle, brought it to life. I was obsessed with it. Yeah, you're inspiring me to do it. But yeah, you
So that's how the back looks.
yeah, and you just tuck one that's over, under, tuck the one that's under, over, smush it down. There's no real wrong way to do
Yep.
it, as long as it stays in. Sounds like you got that part down. But yeah, wait for your hair to be 100% dry before taking it out would be the next tip. And
How long? So like if I'm just okay, I already got like like 3 or 4 really good tips. If my hair is just if I just wipe it down with a washcloth and then I wrap it, how long generally do you like it to stay on?
I would say you want your hair to be 100% dry. So if you're just wiping it down, I would say at least like maybe 3 hours. It might be less. Um, it could be more. If you wear it overnight, that's always like a good gauge. Like it's going to dry perfectly overnight, no matter what. If we're just doing
Mm-hmm.
washcloth, otherwise it can be as short as like an hour, maybe 3, 4 hours to be on the safe side. I kind of overshoot
Okay.
it. Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think
Well,
good.
that's good. I'll experiment with that because it's, I mean, that's a lot shorter than, I mean, just letting my hair dry and then doing it, I think will make a big difference.
It'll make a huge difference. Yeah, it just getting it the right amount of damp and making sure it's like 100% dry when you're done. It's hard to do that when you put it in when it's wet. You have to wear it
Yeah.
forever. Yeah, so this should help a lot. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And
Is this your company?
yeah, this is my company. This is my invention. We were like the very first ones on the market. We perfected it beyond belief. So I'm like super proud of the product. But yeah, thank you so much for being our customer, by the way. That like it means the world to us. I love doing these. It's my favorite part of the business.
Well, and so I got it for Christmas. I put it on my Amazon wish list and I purposefully put yours, like I purposely put the original because
You.
I've had experiences with, knockoffs over the years and like
Oh,
it's not worth it. So
tell me about it. I'm in this. Yeah. We went through the ringer too, and I'm like, oh gosh. It's never better. It's never better. Um, Trying to think if there's, I have one last tip, which is when you're taking them out. Granted, my hair has not set, so this is not like, I'm not a good
yeah.
demo at the moment, but when you take it out, you can always twist the other way to kind of loosen it up. It'll help the hair fall out nice and easy. If it comes out and it's just like, you know, 2 large curls or 1 large curl, then you can just like break it up by taking a small section and just finger twisting it, and it'll pop in a
Okay.
bunch of little curls. You can brush it out if you want more of that like 1940s, 20s glam, where it's like more of that Veronica Lake look. Brush them out. It'll create
Hmm.
that curl pattern you have now. But yeah, just trying to think of,
Yeah, that's what it looked like when I brushed that side out, and I was pretty
yeah.
happy with it because it didn't, like, this side was just, it'll be fine in a couple days. It was just this, like, because it's so straight here and then so curly here. Then I
And
was like, what do I do? I mean, I probably need to get a cut and get more layers in there anyway, but
no, it looks great.
for right
That's
now.
part of the reason why I also recommend making sure your hair is 100% dry before starting and only doing ear level down wet, because your hair, when it dries out of like the shower and stuff, the hair that's by the roots is the last to dry because it's the healthiest. So it holds onto the water the longest. And then when you put the headband in, so this part's all wet. The parts that are longer are mostly dry. So when you put it in, it's going to get like a really hard crease where this whole headband sits and end up super flat on top because you're like flattening down while it's wet. And you end up exactly with the complaints you're talking about, which is like a hard
Yep.
line, flat, because your hair is like, yeah. So that's another reason I'm like, start with 100% dry hair and then just lightly dampen your level down. It's gonna like keep more
I
volume.
should have, yeah.
Yeah,
I
no,
did watch the video and I should have listened, but I was like, oh, my hair needs extra help for curls, so I'll just start it when it's a little wetter than that. But
yeah,
that's
no, you're
great.
good. You're good. Your hair will last. Your hair will be good with this, promise. Yeah. And if you ever want to
Awesome.
sign up for another one of these when you have the headband, like anytime, it can be 6 months from now,
Okay.
whatever. We're always here. So excited to do these. Here to help. Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I'm so excited. I love it already.
Yeah. I'm so happy to hear that, Crystal. Thank you so much again
Yeah.
for being our girlfriend, and have a wonderful new year. It was so nice to meet you.
Yes. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Bye, hon.